as you. I am not afraid, I will fight and guide the way. We will rise again to glory then, soar into the sky. If you stop and see, then you just might believe. We're unstoppable, powerful, enough to beat the odds. If you love me, you will see the flames inside of me.
Sup guys, my name's Ren and Dragon, and welcome back to Seduce Me 2, the Demon one. So last we left off, we got the first ending, the first true ending for Diana. It means that me and her are together. Sarah just being the guard still, in which I feel truly bad for. But this is the one where we'll get the second true ending for Diana's route. And it's a surprise. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You're going to have to see for yourself. So with that, I'll get us back to where we left off, and then I'll show you some parts that we didn't choose, like some of the choices. So alright, without further ado, let us start. Okay, so the choices. Okay, let me save here. Okay, so the choices, but she's mine. No, but she is important to me. So I'm gonna choose this one. But I understand your feelings for her perfectly. We both loved and cared for her. I could tell that Sarah deeply and truly loved Diana, but so did I. She had done so much for me already, and I found myself captured in her spell. Sarah had to have been the same. I was given silence as Sarah's reply.
Tell me honestly, do you truly believe you can make her happy?
I looked up at Sarah, surprised at the question. His face was stern and serious as he gripped his spear in a white-knuckle grip. Why was he asking such a question? With a nod, I took in a breath and stood up straight. I do. I know you love her too, and I want to be the... So we're gonna choose, and I know you love her too. I didn't want us to fight over this like children. Yes, I loved her, but so did he. Who was I to push him away? After all, he had served her his entire life. Smart girl. You're a smart girl. Sarah stared hard at me, taking in what I was saying before raising a spear, pointing it at me.
You truly love her?
I do. I'm sorry if that upsets you. A moment passed. What would Sarah do? I prayed that he wouldn't strike me down. I hoped that he was willing to listen and compromise. A small chuckle escaped Sarah's lips, causing me to look at him in confusion. His face painted his concern and his strange thoughts on this almost humorous situation. As he lowered his spear, he shook his head.
It doesn't upset me. I just want Azayr to be happy.
As do I. Sarah locked eyes with me, gazing into my soul to judge my words for their truth. I was being honest, and, truly, to know that both of us cared about and loved Diana was amazing to fathom. Eventually, Sarah smiled slightly.
Then, maybe it's best that we both try to make her happy.
Yes! Smart thinking! I smiled and nodded, happy to know that he understood. This wasn't a contest, nor was this something to fight about. If we both loved her, then the best thing to do was to both shower her in the love we felt she deserved. Yes!
What is going on?
Sarah and I suddenly looked at the direction of Diana's voice, seeing her completely red in the face in anger. As she walked forward, Sarah bowed his head in submission.
My lady, I
asked Sarah if we could talk in private. Diana stopped walking and stared at me with the most confused look I had ever seen. I giggled a bit before stepping to her and taking her hand. We needed to chat about a little something. About you, of course.
About me?
I nodded with a grin before walking over to Sarah and placing a hand on his shoulder, making him look up at me. I lowered my hand and offered it to him, helping him stand up before continuing. We both are in love with you, Diana. The look on Diana's face was both hilarious and adorable. Her face turned completely red as she darted her eyes back and forth between the both of us. Ha! Me and Sarah! Hey!
Isair.
Aww. Sarah took a step forward and took one of Diana's hands as I did the same with her free hand. Diana looked back and forth between us, now completely in shock and uncertainty. Sarah and I couldn't stop the smiles on our faces at the sight.
We love you and want you to be happy.
If it takes both of us to do it, then we will happily do everything we can to ensure that happiness. My heart felt like I had made the right choice. Sarah loved her, and so did I. There was no need to lay claim to her when she was deserving of ultimate love. If it was something we could both provide, then it was well worth sharing. Diana's eyes began to water as she looked down and tried to catch her breath. Before Sarah and I could worry, however, she softly chuckled.
You both are such fools.
But we're your fools, right? Right? Yeah. We're both your fools. For a moment, Sarah and I became the ones confused, but as Diana looked back up at us with a happy smile and soft tears running down her cheeks.
I don't deserve either of you, let alone both of you.
Aw. That's where you're wrong, Isair. I stepped forward and softly kissed Diana on the lips, making her gasp and stare at me wide-eyed. As I pulled away, I grinned. You deserve all the happiness in the world. Sarah stepped forward and placed a kiss of his own on Diana's lips, woo! Causing another gasp to erupt from her and making the blush on her face deepen. Yay!
And we would be honored to grant you that happiness.
Yes! Diana couldn't help sobbing and covering her face with her hands. Sarah and I quickly rushed to her sides, embracing her and sandwiching her between our bodies. We didn't want to upset her. Her body shuddered between ours before she took in a couple of deep breaths, trying to calm down. Sarah and I, however, began to pepper kisses along her hands and cheeks, wanting to comfort her. Oh! It was hard to believe that we agreed on something, but Sarah and I both wanted the best for Diana, and both of our hearts wanted to be with her. As long as we were open about it, we would be okay. We were completely happy. The energy that sparked within Diana completely filled her with power, giving her the strength to completely annihilate the Demon Lord's army almost single-handedly. What many expected to take years to accomplish, Diana took days. Every attack the Demon Lord threw at us ended with him becoming utterly defenseless, soldierless, and powerless. Despite him managing to escape each time, we dwindled his troops to a mere handful of imp demons. Soon we had cornered him against a stretch of water called the Decaying Sea in his castle. Sarah, Diana, and I stood upon a cliff top, staring down at the legions that had gathered below us as we mentally prepared ourselves for what would be the final battle.
To think this will finally be over.
Once it is, you will become the new queen of this world.
I looked over to Diana, seeing a soft glimmer of fear on her face. Was she not prepared for that responsibility? I took her hand, causing her to look over at me in surprise. As I nodded, I let a grin paint over my face. You'll be an amazing queen. Sarah smiled as well, taking her other hand and making her look over at him.
That you will, and we will support you until the very end.
Yay! Diana's face completely turned beet red as Sarah and I smirked at each other. We quickly leaned in and kissed both of Diana's cheeks simultaneously, causing her to gasp and straighten up like an arrow. Aw, this is so cute. During the time before the siege, Sarah and I managed to work out our differences and found ways to double team against Diana whenever she was feisty, stressed, or needed care. I had to admit, we were the perfect duo. Diana shook her head violently and glared at both of us before pressing a kiss on each of our lips, causing us to shut up the laughter we had released upon seeing her blush. Hee hee. I'm sorry. Diana looked to the crowd and stepped forward, slightly arching her back toward the legions below. She no longer was just Diana, but she had become the mighty queen of the rebellion, one that I had loved with all of my heart.
Milites! Et hoc liberati esturei tramcun tuis omnibus conversiris. Sto vobiscum reducitic vos ad spem. Nocte, lavabir mur, arcem, hostium sanguine. Ele dio dominati sun nostri. Nos destruet, ium mitere, profundissimum, inferni detractos.
Diana summoned her saber, letting it shine brilliantly as the purple taint over her skin began to twist and turn. Before my eyes, the taint on her back took...
To war! To battle!
Whoops. Let me go back for a second. Sorry. Before my eyes, the taint on her back took shape, lifting off of Diana's skin and morphed into her beautiful demonic wings. I watched with pride as Diana's body lifted off of the ground and began to fly over the legion, slowly gliding towards the castle.
To war! To battle!
There we go. At that cry marked the dawn of change. The demon world would end the age of the demon lord's tyranny and begin the age of united peace and prosperity. With Diana soaring through the air bowed to her and provided her worthy of such power. As I stared, time around me slowed as I took in everything that had happened. We were at the end of this war. Where would we truly go from there? Who knew? But I knew that I would be at Diana's side forevermore. I managed to seduce her into bringing me to a new world and experience everything. We were in love, and I was certain that she would become the beacon of life, not only for me, but for every demon in this world. After all, she managed to seduce me, too. The demon war was only the beginning of our lives together.
Well, you did it! Congratulations! You've made it to the end of your story. I have to say, I am very surprised at how it turned out.
The fact that me and Sarah both have her? Yes!
Nevertheless, I'm glad things worked out in the end, whether it was for the better or otherwise. I mean, come on. You got to be with a succubus and help her fight in a war. How crazy is that? You even got her to admit that she is in love with you. Go you! Demons are very hard to convince that you love them. Tell me about it, I know. Anyways, you've been through a lot, so why don't we skip to... Huh? You want to know what happened after the war? Well, I mean, I guess I could tell you. After the war was finished, the entire rebellion celebrated. Word spread far and wide about the rebellion's success, and soon every kingdom in the abyssal plains had become united with the new authority. You would think demons would be more hostile towards each other, being demons and all, but the threat of the demon lord was what brought the entire world together. The final battle between Diana and the demon lord became quickly one-sided, as he was no match for the power she had gathered from your love. Guess the power of love really does conquer all.
I don't know. Maybe.
Anyway, when the war ended, the entire rebellion celebrated as Diana presented his head to the masses like a trophy before burning it and letting the ashes sink into the ground. The day after, she became queen of the demon world. It definitely shocked her, and it took her a while to get used to being called Your Highness by the other demons, but you helped her through it. Well, you and Sarah, anyway. Both of you pretty much became her anchors and support the entire time through her coronation and beginning to rule the world. Sarah, being told of the deal she made with you, convinced you to stay in the demon world with them, so that you'd be with her for the rest of your life. Though, I didn't think it was hard to convince you, was it?
Nope. I think I decided to stay on my own accord.
You love the dickens out of her, come on!
Ah, shush, Kay.
Still, from what I hear at least, the three of you live happily ever after. Huh? You don't believe me? Alright, check it out for yourself.
I believe you, but thanks for the invite. The demon world finally knew peace. It was a grand moment, the sounds of a million cheers echoing and burning themselves in my memory in celebration of the end of the war. Diana had finally destroyed the demon lord, and soon enough we would watch her become the matriarch of the abyssal plains, uniting the entire world under her rule. It was almost too unreal to experience and see as a human. However, I was happy for Diana, and I was proud to stand beside her and support her through it all. The war was an experience and a half I would never forget it for as long as I lived. And I would never forget it for as long as I lived. As for me, I found myself drawn to Diana, hoping to spend every night with her in her arms. The human world became a faintly drifting memory as my life embedded itself into the demon world. Many demons questioned me, but Sarah and Diana defended me with every conflict that came. However, there was never a day that went by that I didn't wonder, Did I make the right choice? It was a heavy chapter of my life, one that tested the love between me and Diana. My heart seemed to remind me that I had come to the demon world to help Diana, and now it was time for her to honor her end of the deal. She had to teach me everything about the 5 worlds and about magic. As a queen, that wasn't possible now. To my surprise, I didn't seem to mind. I had been given the experience of a lifetime, and I easily accepted it as a promise fulfilled. The faint memory of my own power slightly tingled through me every time I grew confident, eagerly reminding me that I had strength of my own. I would never let anyone come between me and Diana ever again. The thoughts of it all echoed in my mind as I laid in bed, looking up at the ceiling with a wide smile on my face. Despite the dangers being real, the war was an adventure fun to look back upon in my memories. I took in a breath and let out a sigh, leaning back against the arm beneath my head and closing my eyes. I was at peace and everything was all right.
Are you okay, dear?
I opened my eyes at the sound of my pet name, looking up to see Diana smiling down at me. I could only giggle and cuddle into her embrace. I was just thinking about us.
Were you now? What about us?
With a smile, I nuzzled Diana's chest softly and closed my eyes, listening to her steady and loving heartbeat. How thankful I am to be here with you. Diana stared down at me, gently hugging me to her. I could feel her own joy at the situation resonate from her embrace and her kiss over my head. Sarah only chuckled as he laid on her other side, listening to us speak to each other. Give us a moment! Look at this picture. It's perfect. Perfect, because Sarah's in it. Okay, let's go. Sarah and I had gotten over our differences, and I was positive that we would be perfect together, taking care of our demon queen. We both adored Diana and found each other both equally held close to each side of her body every morning.
I am thankful that you're here too. Both of you. You have done so much for me, and I will cherish you forevermore.
I believed every word. I let her words embed themselves into my heart, and I would remember them forever. As Diana hugged Sarah and I to her, the three of us let out a simultaneous sigh of contentment. I would love her and continue to hold her close for the rest of my life. Nothing would be able to tear me away from her any longer. And that was my perfect happily ever after. And I am thankful for you and you. Alright? So that was it. That was the second true ending for Diana. So we are completely done with Diana's route now. Whoop-de-doo. Okay, so anyways, we have 3 boys left. We have Sam, and we have Eric, and James. Of course, we are going to leave Sam for last, but there's Eric and James. So, you gotta tell me. I will put a link to the poll in the description below. I also put a link to the poll in the description in my last video, so you can go and check and vote. Who do you want me to do next? Do you want me to go for James, or do you want me to go for Eric? So, like I said, I'll put a link in the description to the poll in the description below. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Oh wait, also I need to mention, hopefully I can finish this game for this week, because next week I will be going on vacation with my family, so I won't be able to post anything. Sorry guys, family stuff. And then I'm gonna have to babysit my brother, so if I don't finish it by this week, then I'm gonna be limited to posting. Hopefully, if I can't finish it, hopefully I'll get up to Sam. And also, since I'm gonna be starting college in a month, I only got 1 free day. So I will try to use that free day to post videos as much as I can. So unfortunately, I will be limiting my days every day from uploading to 1 day when I start college. So yeah, I'm sorry about that. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of my videos, then click subscribe. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video.